A very good morning, everyone. On this beautiful and glorious sunny day, I feel really grateful for giving me a chance to deliver a vote of thanks to such great session. On behalf of my department faculty, students, and college, I thank our respected chief guest, Dr. Ruchi Raj Thakur, ma'am, for sharing your bountiful knowledge on Dalit literature, feminism, and you explained very lively and elaborately about subaltern studies and amuse the listeners. My heartfelt thanks to you, ma'am. Next, I would like to thank our MOU partner, Cape Comorin, Dr. R.S. Regin Silver, sir, for your continuous support. I extend my deep gratitude to our Honorable Chairman Rotarian PDG MD A. Karthikeyan, sir, and our respected Principal, ma'am, Dr. M. Leelavati, for motivating us. We are grateful to our HOD ma'am, Dr. L. Mahalakshmi. This program was not possible without her efforts. Ma'am, thanks a lot for holding us together. And all faculties and students from my department who work round the clock for success of every program. Once again, thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, Cape Comorin. And thank you, Mahalakshmi, ma'am. Thank you so much for offering me this platform. I'm much delighted to, to be with you on this platform, though virtually, but I'm sure we'll be meeting physically one day. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Please come in person to our institution and visit all our faculty members and students, ma'am. Once again, you will get a
Yeah,
chance.
sure, ma'am. Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
The session is going well. Now it is a time to initiate the technical session 1. Hence, all the presenters are asked to be ready with their presentation, and the time limit has been allotted for your presentation. It's obviously 7 to 10 minutes. So try to complete your presentation as a short and crisp.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible? Hello.
Ma'am?
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Ma'am, I have paid the registration fee and sent the abstract. My abstract has been accepted, but my name is not there in the presenters list.
Ma'am, you might be given in another session, ma'am. I'll let you know. Your name, please.
Sharmila Jajodia.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am,
In
nearly there are 10 to 15 sessions, ma'am. You'll come in another session, ma'am. I'll let you know, ma'am. I'll let you know.
Ma'am, in none of the session my name is there. That's why I am telling.
I'll check and let you know, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Distinguished participants, now invite Ms. B. English, Assistant Professor of AVP CAS, to introduce the key part of the session.
Sure.
Dr. M.S. Sarita Ma'am, Assistant Professor of English, BSc College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, has completed her BA degree in PSG College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, 1994, and MA degree in Government Arts College, Coimbatore, in 1996, and she has completed Master of Philosophy in 2005. She is qualified at State Eligibility Test in 2012, and she has completed her doctorate in 2014. She has 21 years of teaching experience, and she has produced 3 MPhil and 2 PhD candidates, and she delivered guest lectures on Indian English literature, poetry, teaching grammar for school teachers, and on many other topics. And she has presented many papers in international national conferences. She is a member of Board of Studies of Sri Ramakrishna Mission Vidyalaya Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, and Ratnam Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. She has attended many conferences, seminars, and workshops, and she has also published many papers in reputed journals. Ma'am, I kindly request you to proceed the session, ma'am.
have to mute, ma'am. You have to unmute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the introduction, Ms. Indu. Uh, so there would be 4 participants in the session, right? Mahalakshmi ma'am.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Shall we start the presentation immediately?
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
they present in the line? Are they there? All the presenters?
Yes, ma'am. The first presenter, Thainmoli, Dr. M. Thainmoli and Pavitran.
Oh, yeah. So before we begin the session, I would like to congratulate the efforts by AVP College and their MOU partner, Cape Comorin Trust. I wish them all the best. And also I thank the college, the chairman, principal, Dr. Leelavati ma'am, and the head of the department, Dr. Mahalakshmi ma'am, for providing me an opportunity to be part of this session. Thank you, ma'am. Let us start.
Yes.
Very good morning, participants. Now that the first presenter, as announced by Dr. Mahalakshmi, is Dr. M. Thainmuri and A. Pavitra, research scholar from Vellore Institute of Technology. They would be presenting on the topic the reverberating of Imayam in the novel Beasts of Burden.
Good morning, ma'am.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah, you are audible. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sharing a PPT, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now it's visible, ma'am?
Yeah, it's visible.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I am Pavitra A, research scholar, Department of English, SSI, VIT, English, and my co-scholar is Dr. M. K. Mani, Assistant Professor, Department of English, SSI, VIT, English, and my chosen topic is the reverberating of Imam in the novel Beasts of Burden. Introduction, Dalit literary criticism, exhibited clarity about Dalit literature and how it urges one to approach and practice it. Dalit literature makes a revolt through the stories of the Dalits by transforming it from injustice to justice. According to G. Bishop, literature is a mirror of life. Similarly, literature helps us to understand human life emotionally and artistically. Like our appearance adjustments in front of the mirror, literature alerts our hearts into humanity. I have chosen the novel for the paper, Beast of Burden. About Beast of Burden, the prominent writer said, there is no novel that equals this one in the last 100 years of Tamil writing, said by a prominent writer, Sundara Ramaswamy. The novel mirrors the society he has seen and mirrored in his essential pieces of literature. Abraham's writings are the soul of the society because he didn't compromise anything for his writings, just like a newborn coming out of the womb. Like a child, the work will thrive and the reader will take care of it as a mother. Then finally, after 25 years, the novel speaks like a protester without any negatives. In the novel, there is a character, Arokyam. The character Arokyam is a powerful and differential figure in a part that she will not blame others or she will not compromise with the situations. As a slave and low caste woman, she will overcome all the illnesses and pain she got in her life. Apart from that, she is also the breadwinner of the family. This way of character assumption is neither to form a story nor to entertain, but mainly this mode of focus is significant to women characters in literature, which breaks the history that women are not only suppression and a symbol of wittiness, The reality of Arogyam brings out the powerful of human in family and society. Formally, what makes society solid? In the paper I have discussed, the discussion is in philosophical aspects. The novel discusses human nature and the human disabilities of society. The caste mentality on how the inferior quality and how benefits the upper caste people. MIM evokes in numerous areas with disabilities how Dalits are proclaiming, proclaiming human rights, classifying the revolting self-respect, rebelling against agitating and protesting against social prejudice, engraving the individual and community suffering of the persons, and being hopeful and eager to form a new society devoid of discrimination are the missions of Dalit slits. And finally, the conclusion is the purpose of Dalit literature is to approach social justice to create an egalitarian society. Literature is an ocean. Similarly, Dalit literature is a sky reflection as blue on the ocean. Dalit literature speaks to being equal like the sky blue, which indicates no discrimination and all are the same. Remain captures the nature of human life divided. Similarly, he discovers the pain of Dalit's life. Through the Harukin character, he grasps the psychological illness of the society and how the people have their lifespan and in a caste-based social order without any basic human kind. The weapon is the pen that is used to win their fights for their rights and also bring out the voice of the suppressed. I would like to end my discussion with the poet said by saying, today the Dalits in the country had reached the stage where they are no longer willing to fight for their cause with weapons. Now they are fighting through books.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Pavitran.
Thank you.
As mentioned by Mr. Pavitran, discrimination of any sort is a kind of illness to the society, and let literature be a tool
Yes,
uh,
madam.
uh, to clear this discrimination or clear the disease from the society. Thank you, Mr. Pavitran.
Thank you.
And now I invite the next presenter of the day, Ajit Kumar Babu. He's a PhD candidate from National Institute of Advanced Studies, and he would be presenting on the topic deprivation, marginality, and mobility, dual vulnerabilities of SCs and STs in a village in Khagand. Mr. Ajit Kumar Babu, are you there?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I am. Just give me a second. I will share my screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it visible, ma'am? Hello.
Not yet, sir. Not yet. No, it's not visible.
Now.
No, we can't see this. Yeah, now I think. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it is visible now, ma'am.
Yes, yes, visible.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Ajit Kumar Babu. I am a PhD candidate in Inequality and Human Development Program at National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bangalore. So the title of my presentation is Deprivations, Marginality, Mobility, Dual Vulnerability of SC/ST in a Village in Jharkhand. So before I start my presentations, I would like to thank the organizer of this conference for allowing me to present some of my findings in this conference. It is because yesterday night when I got the schedule of this conference, I saw that most of the presenters are from School of Humanities and associated with the Department of English. And I think I am the only person who is from School of Social Science, and my background is not English. My background is economics. So my topic is it's quite different, and my methods used in this I will use in this presentations will be also different. So I would like to request all of you, please ask me questions if I was not able to explain something during my presentations. So
Sure, sir,
coming
sure.
coming to this topic, uh, so this particular presentation is part of my PhD dissertations. So it is based on a village study, and I have used a mixed method, both qualitative and quantitative. I have conducted a survey in the village and a year-long qualitative interactions with the village to collect qualitative insights with regard to this SCST community. So as it is a village study, I would like to start my presentations by giving a background of the village where I have conducted the fieldwork in Jharkhand. So, uh, so this village, I shall refer this village as Kusumpali village. So this village is located in Ramgarh district of Jharkhand, and this village is populated by a heterogeneous group of populations, including Hindu, Muslim, and many castes. So the caste groups in this village are Ansari, Vaidya, Karmali, Kumhar, Nayak, etc. So these out of these caste groups, the Karmali, the Nayak, the Vaidya fall in this SCST categories. And the Mahato Kumhar, they comes at the upper end of the caste hierarchy in the village, and the Ansaris were the only populations in the Muslim religion. So this this was the social structure of the village and the caste hierarchy in the village. So this economic structure, particularly the occupational structure, was aligned with the caste hierarchy in the village. And how it is aligned with the caste structure, I will explain that a bit later. So, however, this particular village has been transforming since 1991. It is because after 1991, three large industries were set up in the village, and with the emergence of this industry, the non-agricultural opportunities in the village has increased. With the emergence of the industry, jobs have been created in the industry, and that industry also expanded the non-agricultural opportunity around the industry, such as small tea stall and garment shop, grocery shop were emerged around those industries. The industry further facilitate the migrations of workers outside the village, because that industry provide a space to develop migration network. Throughout this however, throughout this process of transformations, after this coming of this industry and the expansions of the non-agricultural activities, throughout this process of transformation, the people belonging to this SCST categories have been continuously deprived in accessing all this opportunity created within the village. The SCST were categorically excluded from the industrial jobs, because the industrial jobs were only available to the landholding caste in the village, and so the SCST were not able to access those jobs in the industry, as 84.2% of the people belonging to these categories were landless. And being excluded, being landlessness also exclude them to invest in the non-agricultural opportunity created around the industry, and that also negatively affected their migrations to tap the opportunity available outside the village, because that migrations require migration capital, particularly economic capital, to for initial traveling cost and all, and social capital, because migrations need social network. And this network, the social networks, were identity based, and it was dominated by the upper caste in the village. And that, along with this deprivations, this long period of exclusions to accessing economic opportunities, they were also marginalized, and their mobility was dimmed, their upward mobility was denied. The relative positions of the SC/ST in the village concerning the asset and educations have been increasing their marginality, because they were falling in the bottom positions in the asset index. What is asset index? I can answer if there will be any questions. And with respect to education, the percentage of years of educations attended by all members in the SC/ST categories to the total years of education in the village was only 11.81%. And I was talking about that asset, that economic dimensions, they were only constituting 3.42% of the total asset in the village. So they were in the marginal worse of positions in the relatively worse of positions in the village. The worse of positions in these economic dimensions and education negatively affect their migrations, because I was talking about that migration is requires economic capital and the social capital, and this migrations networks are dominated by the upper caste, particularly the Kumhar, Mahato, and Ansaris in the village. So this inability to access the workplaces available within the village and workplace available outside the village uh, increase their vulnerability in two sense. First, it uh, it denied their access to the workplaces, so they were not able to access the learning spaces, because during structural transformations, people require informal learning to acquire new skills, and that also reduced their scope to diversify their or to deal with the uncertainty, because occupations were not available throughout the years, so they require different type of occupation in different seasons and at different locations also. So that require different strategy to deal with the uncertainty, and that strategy are occupational diversifications and occupational transformations. And these people from this particular group were not able to access those workplaces, so they were denied from acquiring new skills through this informal processes of learning, and also not able to develop new strategy to deal with the uncertainty, because they don't have the scope in agriculture, because 84% of them were landless, and they were not able to access the non-agricultural opportunities, because this non-agricultural opportunity also linked to the their positions, like their positions of land or not. They are landless or landholding household or not landless household. Yeah. So they didn't have the scope to diversify their occupations become in agriculture and non-agricultural activity. So this is the dual vulnerability they were facing. Thank you.
Ma'am, you can proceed.
Is it over? Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
ma'am.
Okay. So, though you do not belong to the literature stream, sir, you have shared your first-hand knowledge regarding the subaltern people. So, congratulations. Is it a part of your PhD study, sir?
Yes, yes, it is a part of my PhD. So I am
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
the informal learning of like how people, when people change their occupations from agriculture to non-agricultural activities, how they are learning the
Okay.
skills and what are the inequality in that in my PhD.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a part
Okay.
of my PhD thing.
Best wishes with your research work, sir, because you could share your first-hand knowledge on the problem of SCs and STs. Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Now I request the next presenter, uh, Dr. Ram Aravind, Assistant Professor from PSNA College of Engineering and Technology, Dindigal. He would be presenting his paper on the title, Her Story Revisited, Comparative Analysis of Women's Defiance in Margaret Lawrence, The Stone Angel, and the Biblical Tale of Hagar. Sir,
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
there?
Yes, ma'am,
Yeah.
I'm there. Thanks.
Yes,
Thanks for the
yes.
introduction, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sharing the PPT. Am I audible, ma'am? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
you
topic
can
that I want
proceed.
to speak of today was is on my favorite author, Margaret Lawrence. And when I was reading about her, when I was reading her novel, there was quite a lot of similarity between the her version of Hagar Shipley and the biblical story of Hagar. Okay, I first before entering into the presentation, I would like to share the story of Hagar so that there will be clear understanding of what I'm saying. So, biblical Hagar uh, is a uh, is a second wife of Abraham. Okay, she was first she was his slave, and later, since his first wife Sarah could not deliver a child, she becomes a surrogate mother and later delivers a baby. Okay, that is Ismail, the future lord of the lands. Okay, but uh, in fact, Sarah was the one who gave Abraham the idea of making Hagar a surrogate mother. But after she becomes pregnant, Sarah has a tremendous hate and a form of jealousy over Hagar, and she banished the pregnant Hagar into the desert. Okay, so this is where the comparative studies starts. Okay, so Margaret Lawrence's novel, The Stone Angel, explores the life of Hagar Shipley, a fictional character drawing upon the elements from the biblical story of Hagar, a slave who becomes a second wife to Abraham, the mother of Ishmael. The paper aims to examine the ways in which Lawrence's portrayal of Hagar Shipley draws upon and diverges from the biblical Hagar. In the Bible, Hagar is depicted as a secondary and inferior wife whose experience is defined by the relationship to Hagar and Sarah. Lawrence's depiction of Hagar Shipley portrays her as a strong, independent woman who reflects on her life and the choices she made, grappling with the feelings of regret and defiance. So Lawrence portrays Hagar Shipley as a 90-year-old woman. So she will be thinking of her past decisions and the mistakes that she has committed in her life. So that's the entire story. Hagar Shipley is proud of her independence, but she feels trapped by the convictions of her time, and particularly as a woman, and is unable to fully escape the control of man in her lives. The paper presents a comparative analysis of the depictions of the two women's defiance in the Stone Angel and the biblical tale of Hagar's defiance. The biblical tale of Hagar. The defiance, despite the difference, both the biblical and the fictional Hagar shares a sense of longing for independence and a feeling of being trapped by their circumstances. The biblical Hagar is sent away and must find her own way in the wilderness, while Hagar Shipley in the Stone Angel is trapped by her own pride and the societal expectations. Hagar's Margaret Lawrence, The Stone Angel, provides a nuanced portrayal of her character inspired by the biblical Hagar, adding depth and complexity and the limitations imposed on a woman in the patriarchal society. The novel draws inspiration from Margaret Lawrence's personal life experiences and the biblical story of Hagar, an Egyptian slave who becomes a surrogate mother to Abraham's child. Hagar Shipley in The Stone Angel is a proud and independent woman who is shunned by her family and community, while biblical Hagar is physically banished. The banishment of both the characters symbolize their journey towards self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment. Lawrence effectively uses the character of Hagar Shipley as a modern retelling of the biblical story of Hagar to provide a powerful commentary on the struggle for self-acceptance in the human condition. The Stone Angel adds a subaltern voice to the story of Hagar by presenting her as a proud and independent woman who is metaphorically exiled from her community due to her strong will and independent nature. This portrayal of Hagar echoes the biblical story of Hagar, and offers a powerful commentary on the human condition and the struggle for self-acceptance. Margaret Laurent effectively uses the character of Hagar Shipley to retell the biblical story of Hagar in the modern context. The Stone Angel examines the relationship within a family and the dynamics of marital union and the downfall of the central character Hagar Shipley. The novel analyzes the emergence of the new woman, the manner in which she challenges traditional gender roles, highlighting the perversion effects of patriarchal oppression and discrimination. Lawrence portrays the impacts of societal norms on both men and women and highlights Hagar's pride as a result of such condition. The symbolic imagery of the stone of a stone angel serves to emphasize Hagar's stubbornness and blindness arising from her father's promotion of masculine virtues over feminine. For the father would instill the masculine virtues on her daughter so that she would value those ideas. But as a result, she becomes the victim in the entire conflict. The novel also reveals Hagar's lackluster feeling towards her husband Bran, as her emotional connection was purely superficial and never truly acknowledged. She would never reveal how much she loves him. She would never express her emotions for him. She would be just like a stone. The novel reveals Hagar's lack of emotional connection with her husband Bran, which she never acknowledges or expressed. Hagar's psychological distress is rooted in her spiritual arrogance, which also strained her relationship with her son John. Hagar's excessive pride prevented her from accepting her son's partner, resulting in the eventual death in the car crash. Their death in the eventual car crash. After John's passing, Hagar becomes even more emotionally distorted, and did not lament his death. She did not even lament his death, maintaining her pride and declining assistance from her nurse. Okay, now she is an old woman. Because of her pride, she is refusing to accept the help of even a nurse. Okay, I can do and take care of myself. That's the quote that she says always. Margaret Lawrence explores the theme of pride and its impact on a person's life, using Hagar as a representation of the struggle for independence and self-sufficient. Margaret Lawrence explores the theme of pride and its impact on a person's life, using Hagar as a representation of this struggle for independence and self-sufficiency for a woman in a patriarchal society. Hagar's pride serves as a facade to hide her fears and insecurities, leading to her unhappiness and that of her family, eventually resulting in her death. Stone Angel is set in the fictional town of Manawaka, which serves as a background for Hagar's psychological journey, highlighting the town's role in the lives of its inhabitants. Margaret Lawrence employs a range of symbols, biblical allusions, and cultural motifs to create an intriguing narrative pattern to address the themes of freedom, responsibility, pride, humility, and the impact of Protestant beliefs. Hopefully, those who are aware of the history, the Protestants were very much, what to say, they were a society built based on beliefs, okay, a strong faith in God. Yes. Hagar's fading memory and solitary existence reflects her frustrations and delusions with aging and death. Her realization that her life was void of meaningful human connections, that she has lived a wasteful life, was a constant reminder, was a constant pain. The character of Hagar presents a challenge to the patriarchal society, highlighting the women as not inferior to men and can make a significant contribution to society, which is a triumph for the character and a testament for Margaret Lawrence's writing ability. The biblical Hagar and the character Hagar Shipley in the Stone Angel shares some similarities in their experiences and journey, but they are also different they are also There are also differences between the two characters, as the novel in the modern retelling of the biblical story draws on Margaret Lauren's personal experiences and commentary of human condition. Both Hagar, a slave, and a concubine, is in the biblical book of Genesis, and Hagar Shipley, as a character in Margaret Lauren's novel The Stone Angel, struggles with identity, independence, and motherhood, and must find their own ways in this world.
Sir,
Yes,
Dr. Ram Aravind,
yes,
can
ma'am.
you just quickly conclude, sir? We are
Okay,
running
ma'am. I will continue.
short
So,
time. Yeah.
okay. So when Hagar enters into the desert, when Hagar was banished by Sarah into the desert when she was pregnant, an angel comes to her rescue, and the angel says this to her, and he said, "Hagar, Sarah's maid, where hath come thou? Whither will thou go?" So meaning, where have you come, and where will you go? Meaning that the angel says this is in an or a sense of authority, making her making sure that she would continue her sorry, she would go back to Sarah. Okay, that was the command given by God. But Hagar defies that order of the angel and God to make her own decision, and she marches into the desert, deciding that she would venture through all this suffering and finally will be able to reach her own destiny. And the angel, feeling moved by these speeches, angel aids her and protects her and promises that her sons will rule these lands. Okay. In the same way, the stone angel, finally, when Hagar realizes, after all those experiences, after rejecting the help from the nurse, she realizes that her son is her future, and the one who's truly who truly took care of her, and was the one person in her life, was entirely supportive of Hagar's decision. So she supports his decision of her being in a hospital. Okay, so finally she agrees with that, and that's the similarity between these two characters. And so
Thank you.
I would like
Thank you, sir.
to
Thank
I
you.
will conclude on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for shedding light on the longing of women for independence, self-sustenance, and self-reliance, with reference to the character Hagar from the Bible and Stone Angel. Thank you, sir. And the next participant is Dr. Arjika Paul, Assistant Professor from CM Science College, Dabanagar. And the topic for presentation would be a study of discrimination and identity crisis in Arundhati Roy's Ministry of Utmost Happiness. And
Good
after this
morning.
presentation, one second, let me complete. Ms. Sharmila, are you there? After this presentation, Ms. Sharmila, if you are there, you can
Yes,
present
ma'am.
your
Yes.
paper.
Yes, ma'am.
Please be ready with your paper. The next
Yes,
presenter
ma'am.
is you.
Okay,
Yeah,
ma'am.
now
Thank you.
invite Dr. Ajika Paul to present the paper. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Uh,
Paul.
Dr. Paul?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
Yeah,
audible.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, ma'am, and everyone. I would like, first of all, to thank the organizers of the virtual conference for providing us with a platform where we can share our knowledge and express our thoughts. I would go straight into my topic without wasting much of a time. The interplay of discrimination and identity crisis are themes explored by various authors at different points of time in world of literature. And Arundhati Roy is an Indian novelist whose novel, The Ministry of Utmost Happiness, is beautiful narrative set in Delhi dealing with transgender discrimination. Also, Dalit discrimination and female discrimination prevailing at different levels and as different levels of people suffering from identity crisis. The plot of the novel presents various violent incidents like Godhra train attack, Kashmir unrest, transgender dilemma, and a lot more. And Ministry of Utmost Happiness is a masterpiece in illustrating pain and tournament of Anjum, Tilotama, Saddam, and other characters in a novel. And present paper explores how discrimination generates the issue of identity crisis. The novel of Ministry of Utmost Happiness by Arundhati Roy discusses the complications of human lives in Indian society and the hard realities of human relation, identity crisis, and socio-political interference in the lives of people in detail. Roy depicts the crude realities in an exceptional and extraordinary linguistic inventiveness in her novel. It is in this very tradition that her novel Ministry of Utmost Happiness presents a beautiful blending of several themes like untouchability, gender discrimination, sexual abuse, harassment, hypocritical moral code of society. Since the time immoral, our society has been cleaved into the powerful and powerless, in which powerless people are bulldozed of by the domination of servility of the powerful class of society. They have no identity and hence they suffer from lack of identity. The novel is a reflection of the novel is a reflection to various types of discrimination. The novel's main character, Anjum, who is born as Aftab, has not been accepted in the society because of her transgender status. And she has got a complex gender history. Born intersex with both male and female genitals, she lived with a community of transgender women. The thought of leading a normal life haunts her time and again, and she's traumatized. Aftav has exceptional talent of singing, but when he starts going to the music class, he is being teased by his fellow classmates. I would like to quote, he is she. He's not a he or a she. He's a he and she. And this compels Aftab to discontinue his music classes and school too. He gets stuck in the male female conventional boundaries and begin to search his real place in society. And his father also discourages his singing talent and tries to inject masculinity in his son by staying up late at night telling him heroic deeds done by males. But when Aftab realizes that Genghis Khan single-handedly fought whole army only to retrieve his bride from the ruffians, all he wants to become is a bride. As he grows up, he becomes unmistakably girly, and this makes her mother, Jahanara, worried. She takes him to hospitals and dargahs. All her happiness converts into gloom. One day after saw a woman. He rushed down the steep stairs into the street and followed her discreetly while she brought goats, trotters, hair clips, guavas, etc. The woman led him to Khwab, and Aftab gets an instant feeling that he belongs there. It is a name of brothel, which has been mentioned in the novel, Ministry of Utmost Happiness. And the novel is trying to shed light on the fact that their own family disowned them just like Aftab. The other characters like Bulbul, Razia, Hira, Baby Nimmo, Guria, and Mary, they are the other uh, transgenders who are there in the novel, and their family have disowned them just like Aftab. The narrow mindsets of their parents and society make their life even more painful. Not only the gender identity. The Arundhati Roy here in this novel has also shed light on the caste system prevailing in the Indian society. So the caste system in Indian society is a disgusting sight, and one hand the country is in the process of attaining the position of superpower by the innovation of science and technology. On the other hand, the country still practices the caste system where a section of the people is marginalized and discriminated in the society. And I would like to share a quote from this novel where I would like to quote: Anjum used the word chamar and not Dalit, the more modern and accepted term for those that Hindus consider to be untouchable. In the same spirit in which she refused to refer to herself as anything other than Hijra. She didn't see the problem with either Hijras or Chamas. I'd like to wrap, finish this quote. And Roy has visualized this discrimination in the novel where a Dalit worker cleans the toilet in Indian railway station open handed. The open discharge toilets are cleaned without gloves on hand. The class and caste discrimination in Indian society creates hindrance for the prosperity and development of the nation. Not only this, but Ray has expressed the pain and suffering of untouchables in the society. The novel, she says, in some countries, some soldiers die twice. And she has also shed light on the Muslims, the minorities, their suffering, the discrimination they face. And she quotes, Muslim in India are reflected to be treated in inhuman way. There are several reasons behind this. Even within the same group belonging to the same religion, they have divided themselves into Shia and Sunni. They have some hostile feeling to each other. It is not only the people, rather the state and the rulers are also do not make justice on them. And Ray further asserts, just as Pakistan had declared itself as Islamic Republic, India should declare itself a Hindu one. Some of its supporters and ideologies openly admired Hitler and compared the Muslim of India to the Jews of Germany. And furthermore, Ray, the she has also shed light on the female discrimination. And I would like to conclude with this that though the novel, The Ministry of Utmost Happiness, Ray demonstrates the social injustice and prejudice prevailed in the modern society, she expresses that these people who face these problems are bound to be silent because their voice is not heard. And hence the Ministry of Utmost Happiness is a brimful of plethora of narratives that manifest the layers of discrimination embedded in Indian society in various forms at various levels. This discrimination generates the issue of identity crisis amongst the victims and the discrimination. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Arika Paul. It's a good presentation indeed. The transgenders are doubly or triply marginalized, more than the
Yes,
caste-based marginalization. This is a sort of marginalization which is more painful. So let
yes,
us
ma'am.
pray and wish that the society is to accept them. Uh, they are to be accepted into the society like the straight people.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And now, Ms. Sharmila, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Is
Yeah,
my
you
screen
can start.
visible? Is my
Yeah, it's
screen
visible.
visible? Yeah.
Yeah, it's visible. Start
Good.
presenting.
Good afternoon. The title of my paper is New Image of Women in the Novels of Namita Gokhale and Shivani, a Comparative Study. Women writers pen down their agonies and sufferings caused by various external forces in their quest for identity and self-expression. Namita Gokhale and Shivani are the winners of literary awards conferred by Government of India, Sahitya Academy and Padma Shri respectively. marital disharmony, parental apathy, oppression of women, sexual frustration, unrequited love, passions, ignorance, illicit affairs, pre and extramarital affairs, child abuse are the themes of their novels. A woman's journey in the backdrop of strained marital relations and conflicting mother daughter relationship has been the focus of these novelists. The objective of this paper is to reason out the role of social, cultural, religious, and political factors in creating patriarchal society and to understand the woman's struggle for her rights, empowerment, and identity. For this paper, I have tried to adopt descriptive analysis method, psychofeminist approach, reader response, and comparative approach. Namita Gokhale's God's Grave and Grandmother had been written in 1994 and Shivani's Bharvi had been written in 1969. God, Graves and Grandmother is a story of three generations of female characters, Gudiya, her mother and her grandmother Ammi besides Fulvati. Her grandmother and mother used to be prostitutes. Gudiya feels lonely when her mother elopes with a magician beggar and Ammi's brother commits suicide. Her Ammi, after arriving in Delhi, at once changes her religion and becomes a Hindu spiritual leader for earning her livelihood. After Ammi's death, Gudiya is taken care of by her companions in the temple. She starts premarital relations with a Bandwala Kalki and becomes pregnant. Kalki, on being pressurized, marries her but behaves violently. Gudiya sends him to Bombay for a career in films, but he doesn't return at all. She gives birth to a girl child and she initially missed Kalki physically. She suffers from alienation, depression, and understands that the existential trauma of the world is not going to end at all. Similarly, Shivani's Bharvi is also a story of three generations of females Chandan, Rajeshwari, and her mother. The protagonist Chandan jumps out of a train when she is gang raped by four army officers while traveling with her husband Vikram. She is ultimately saved by an Aghori tantric necromancer, but soon realizes that her guru, though physically chaste but psychologically corrupt, could not get rid of carnal desires. She runs away to meet one of her acquaintances, Guru Bahan Vishnupriya, but she denied shelter in her ashram because Chandan is very beautiful. She reaches her matrimonial home. By chance, she meets her husband Vikram and gets to know from the conversation between him and his mother about his remarriage. She hides herself and returns from there and thinks where to go. In God's Grave and Grandmother, Ammi's throwing off her burqa is symbolic of her leaving behind her caste, custom, and tradition for her survival. When a Gunda Pahalwan comes to collect Hafta, she answers sweetly, Are Rama, 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 seize our money, Pahalwan ji, but spare our self respect. I am the widow of a Brahmin, guard your tongue, or else a virtuous woman's curses may follow you. Pandit Kailash Shastri is recognized because of Ammi, not because of himself. The Shambhu Fulvati relationship, the reversal of patriarchal norms, because here Fulvati beats her husband Shambhu when he gets drunk. Shambhu's murder doesn't evoke traditional wailing from Fulvati. Rather, she handles his old business outside the temple and expands it single-handedly after his death. Later on, she marries Sundar Pahalwan on her conditions when he proposes her. In Bharvi, Chandan's mother Rajeshwari suffers in her marriage as it was a mismatch. Her husband is a 50 years old widower while she is quite young. The reason for her mismatch was Rajeshwari's love for Kundan and their attempt to run away from their homes. She accepts the marriage as a repentance for her act while her husband always doubts her chastity and insults her, asking, "Is Chandan his daughter only?" Although she is always imprisoned in a room before he goes out. Thus, Rajeshwari also has been actually physically violated in the marriage, because the marriage here is not a union of two souls, for it being devoid of mutual trust and love. Although in case of Rajeshwari and Chandan, nowhere Shivani has used the word rape explicitly in the novel, yet it is very clear from the context and usage of words like repentance and stigma. Both the novels are dominated by women characters and evolved as the new women, giving secondary status to men. Gokhale and Shivani depict both victimization as well as resilience of her women characters. They portray such women who celebrate their sexuality frankly and authoritatively discover the pleasure and beauty of the female body. Simone de Beauvoir, in her book The Second Sex, criticizes Boucher's words: "Humanity is male and the man defines woman, not in herself but in relation to himself. She is not considered an autonomous being." Gokhale and Shivani have succeeded in projecting women as human beings with the same flesh, blood, and bones, whose desires, likes, and dislikes matter as much as those of their male counterparts, and the extent to which the women characters are successful in ordering their lives without male support. To
Ms. Sharmila,
conclude,
yeah, please.
Gokhale
Yeah,
and Shivani both are undoubtedly gynocritical writers and uncover the female psyche. They give the message that woman is making a place for herself through self help. Social transition is taking place, and right psychosocial approach is needed to eliminate the hypocrisy of gender and to create a healthy society for women. It reminds Gauri Deshpande, the female of the species, which opines that a man need a woman for emotional support, be it mother, sister, wife, daughter, or a girlfriend. Similarly, men also need to support women emotionally without any blackmailing. These are my references. Thank you, one and all.
thank you, Ms. Sharmila. Thank you for your presentation on the women's struggle to establish her identity. Thank you, participants. I think the next technical session is ready. Dr. Mahalakshmi. Dr. Mahalakshmi, are you there?
Sorry, ma'am is on the call, so she couldn't speak now.
The chairperson for the next technical session, she has already come. She's there
Yeah,
on
ma'am, she
the
has come
line.
here, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. So shall
Okay,
we conclude this
okay.
session, ma'am?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity once again, Dr. Mahalakshmi. Best wishes with your
Yeah.
work. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so
Thank you,
much,
ma'am,
ma'am.
for
We are
spending
very
your.
much happy to have you as a chairperson here, and thank you for spending your valuable time with us, ma'am.
Thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Mahalakshmi. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.